Hi everyone, we are Murasaki and Sake, and this is part 2 of our Scary Stories video. Hope you like this one.
If you do, please click on the like button and subscribe to our channel.
This is another doll story,
Okay.
and this one, the story is called Ikininyo on the internet, which is the living doll, right? So this is about a guy. This happened in 1978 again in Japan, and the guy was called Inagawa, and he was a screenwriter, director, among other things that he used to do. And he was also really interested in the supernatural things. And once he was called to a radio station for a show, and all of his crew members were also there with him. And he noticed in the room where they get ready, I don't know what the room is called, like completely random. Whatever it is called.
I don't
They were getting ready together, and one of his crew members starts really crying, and like he was bawling, and obviously he goes and asks the member what was wrong. The member was the singer of the team. He said that he performed one of his songs live very recently, and when he listened to the recording again afterwards, he heard the voice of one of his fans, and that particular fan had died a few months ago. So Inagawa offers to take this guy back home, to drop him back to his place, and he calls a taxi, and they are on their way. A really young girl, small in height, in a red kimono, walking down the street. And she seems like a normal human girl until she starts levitating
Okay.
and moving towards Inagawa, their taxi.
Okay.
So apparently when later on the taxi starts moving, they reach their destination and all, when he asks the taxi driver as well as the singer who was with him, his crew member, if they saw anything, apparently nobody saw that girl.
I was about to ask that.
Yeah, it was just Inagawa. He starts directing a play, and then this play, the main character of the play is a big doll.
Okay.
He notices that the doll has an uncanny resemblance to the girl that he saw on the road that day, the levitating girl. She is also wearing a red kimono, looks very much like that girl, about the same height and all also. But anyway, even then, he doesn't really mind. He thinks that maybe it's a coincidence. But then, really weird things start happening. So what happens is the artisan who made that doll, he vanishes. The puppeteer who was supposed to be in charge of the doll, his cousin dies.
Okay.
Okay.
So far, like it is kind of scary, but it doesn't.
It's like it sounds coincidental, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it happened.
Yeah.
The script writer of the play,
Okay.
his house catches fire.
Again, can be
Again,
coincidence.
can be a coincidence. Let's move on. A lot of the crew members, when they are practicing the play, during the practice sessions and all, a lot of the crew members start getting injured, and most of the people who get injured are injured on their right arm and right knee.
No, it sounds like
It doesn't sound like a coincidence.
Yeah.
So of course all of them are scared, they're wondering what is happening. So Inagawa decides to take the doll to a couple of shrines and temples and all to get it blessed. He does that, incidents stop happening for some time, but then suddenly Inagawa's father dies. So now he doesn't want to keep the doll with him. So the puppeteer in charge of the doll, Mr. Maino, he takes the doll with him and takes it home. So what happens after that apparently is, from what people heard, was this person Maino, his mental health starts declining, and he starts speaking to the doll as if she's a real person.
Okay.
So of course, since he is the puppeteer, it's fairly normal and expected that he would carry the doll along with him whenever he came to the practice and all. But speaking to the doll as if it's a real human being is kind of creepy, right? After 1 year, in 1979, I think, a live TV broadcast channel heard of all of these incidents in the doll, and they invited Inagawa and Maino to their station for a shoot, for an interview. So this is the legendary interview. Like, this is an interview which the tape of the interview is lost now, and some screenshots are still available. But people on 2chan again talk about this particular interview quite a lot. So they went for this interview, and again, Maina was talking to the doll as if she was a real human being. And strange things start happening even during the shoot of the interview. So equipment failure, or the live audience that was present there, all of them start feeling uneasy. A lot of other things were happening, but the major thing that really caught me off guard when I was reading about this incident is that there were a lot of people, because it was a live broadcast interview. A lot of online viewers, not online, but people who were watching the show, they started receiving a lot of calls from these people about inquiring about a girl standing next to the doll during the interview.
Okay.
So it was a child about the same height as the doll, and they said, "Who's this girl standing next to the doll?" Finally, there was no child present on set, like even in the audience, because it was supposed to be a spooky sort of an interview, right? About a doll who was wreaking havoc, basically.
Yeah.
So there was no child present, even in the live audience there. And multiple people calling the channel about the kid is very creepy. Who's the kid standing next to the doll? And of course, the video of this entire interview is not available, but screenshots of the child, I think, are still available. And it's said to be a case of mass hysteria, or like the Mandela effect. But most of the people believe that it could not have been that.
Yeah.
The people who were sitting there, it would have been possible for them to get hysterical.
Yeah.
The people watching it on their television sets calling channel.
That-
That is the more creepier part for me, I think.
Yeah.
So that happens, and after that, I think other TV channels and all also approached both of them, Maino and Inagawa, and they started carrying it around a replica doll. They not got rid of the doll, but they didn't think it would be right to take the doll around after those incidents happened. And eventually, what would happen is that Inagawa gave the doll away to a friend to keep it with him. And Maino, last that people heard of him was he was hiding in the mountains somewhere, and he started sculpting Buddha statues.
Okay.
And the friend who kept the doll initially, his family starts going through things again, weird things. So even he got rid of the doll and he kept it in a shrine, he gave it to a shrine. But then now, the doll is not there in the shrine, it's said to be vanished completely. Nobody can find the doll, and after Inagawa heard of this fact that the doll has vanished from the shrine also, he is scared that the doll might appear in his life again. That is unnerving to think that the doll is not even there in the shrine. Because in case of Okiko, at least we know that first of all she's a harmless spirit.
Yeah.
And she's still there in the shrine. People still go to visit her. But Ikinimyo is like a completely different species. I would say something else.
Yeah.
What was the point of people who were getting injured, the crew members?
Yeah.
They got injured on their right arm and right knee only.
Yeah.
So it
Also,
has to mean something.
Also, what happened to that child? That's
Yeah.
what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
What happened that made her so maybe vengeful?
Vengeful,
or-
yeah. It might have been an accident or something, because the first time that Inagawa comes across the child is on a road while going somewhere. So
This one was really scary.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really want to come across a Kinimyo.
exactly, because it was like the opposite of Okiko, I would say.
Let's go to the next story. And it's April 10, 2005. Doctors are coming in the Kawasing Medical Hospital. I'm sure I'm not saying the name right, but it's a hospital in the Kawasing city, so you know. And they find a body of a woman, and she's abandoned. Nobody is there with her. So it's not exactly a body. They don't know if it's a body or not. So the doctors try and see if she can be brought back, and they put her in the emergency room. They find that her nose, her mouth, and everything else is blocked with feces, human feces.
Oh my god.
So she suffocated. They found that she suffocated to her death. There were feces in her mouth, nose, everywhere, and she choked on her vomit. So it was found inside her stomach. And they have no idea who this woman is. So they obviously notify the authorities and the police.
Yeah.
And we find that she is from a family called the Wu family. So the Wu family, we have the mother, father, and then they have 4 children, all grown up, all in their 20s. And this is the eldest daughter of the family who's died. Eldest daughter was a nurse, which makes it all the more like when I was reading about this case, it made it all the more interesting because
It's from a scientific background.
yeah, she's from a scientific background and she gets into this. We'll uncover what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently the Wu family with 6 people, they are very superstitious. Neighbors knew about it. In February of 2005, the youngest daughter of the family, she starts saying she's possessed by a deity called the third prince of gods. It's, I believe, Prince Neza. That's the name of the god. And she says that this god has said that they must bring back the eldest daughter back to their hometown, Kaohsiung. She was working in Taipei as a nurse.
Okay.
So she comes back and she leaves her job in Taipei working as a nurse. So now everybody is in the same house and weird things start happening. So first, the eldest daughter who comes back from Taipei, she starts having nightmares about being sexually assaulted. So that's like an everyday thing for her. She starts having these nightmares, and because of that, she refuses to sleep, and she like resorts to sleeping in the morning and not in the night. And this is happening again and again, and she gets possessed again by another deity.
Okay.
So we don't know what the name of this deity is. The family, all 6 people, they get possessed at some point by some deity.
Oh.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is that none of them believe each other that they're possessed by a deity. So all of them think that I am possessed by a deity, but the other person is evil.
Oh my god. Okay.
So the family is turning like
Against each other. Everybody is against each other.
everybody is against each other because they think the other person is the evil. Now
And I should do something about it.
yeah, so the neighbors, they can hear everything. So apparently the neighbors heard them shouting, screaming, and they were beating each other, throwing salt at each other because salt is supposed to be the
Evil out, yeah.
evil out. So all of this is happening, but nobody interferes because they are scared. So starvation, I can understand. They think that if they starve themselves, the deity, in order to like live, they would leave the body
Okay.
and go to somebody else.
They start starving themselves so that
Yeah.
the deity who is
The
possessing them
deity
would
or
also.
the evil, whoever is
Yeah.
possessing them, they would leave the body.
Okay.
So they are starving, and then gradually it becomes like they start eating human feces
So that the
Each other's
whatever was
feces.
possessing them
and
would get out.
yeah, urine and all of that. The eldest daughter is the first one. Her health starts declining,
Yeah.
organs start failing, and eventually she dies on April 9th. But the family refuses to believe that she is dead. They think the evil that's possessing her has left her body and she is not dead. The only reason they believe that she was dead is because the mother of the family, she said she was possessed by the eldest daughter, and the eldest daughter told them that she was dead.
Yeah, she's in fact dead, and now
Yeah.
she possessed her to tell everyone.
Yeah,
that
so in the middle of the night, they leave their house, they take the body of their eldest daughter, and they abandon the body in the hospital.
This reminds me of a case that I heard of. I mean, all of us know about that case, a Delhi case, the Burari family. This reminded me a lot of that family.
Yeah.
One of the kids of the family, I think, believes that he has some knowledge from something supernatural,
Yeah.
and he's dictating like what other people around him should do.
Yeah. So anyway, so they leave the daughter's body there, and they leave the town as well. They leave their hometown
Mm.
and suddenly I think, they're just awake and they just
Yeah.
know now it's all done.
Yeah.
It's all happened.
Yeah.
So this is where it ends.
Mm.
The police I don't think they arrested the family because the diagnosis for them, the medical diagnosis for them was that maybe it was psychosis.
Yeah.
So if she had never come back, they called her back. She was working in Taipei.
Yeah,
as a
then
nurse.
she would have been saved at least. And she, ironically, she is the one who dies.
She's the only one who dies. So the police, I think, didn't arrest them, or even if they did, I think the maximum jail time they would get is 5 years. So they are all free now. So the reason I got to know about this case is because I was watching a Netflix movie. It's called Incantation.
Yeah, I've heard of the movie. I haven't seen it though.
It's a good movie. If you want to watch it, we can watch it together because I really liked it.
Yeah. Now, definitely you should watch it.
I think it's also the highest grossing Taiwanese horror film.
Ooh.
I was watching this movie and it is apparently like loosely based on this case.
Those are our stories for today. And this is Helen, my kitty cat. Yeah, hope you like the video and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, etc. etc. And yeah, see you again soon. Maybe with like a reaction video or something.
Yeah, and if you have any suggestions for our reaction videos, what we should watch, any horror movies or anything, you can comment it down and we'll try and react to it. Okay, I think it's fine.
Yeah, okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.